All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Vancouver. Trust everyone had a good time who was actually here last night for the TATA social and on the boat. It's pretty awesome. Thank you very much to our host. Thanks. Those of you who got here yesterday afternoon who got the chance to see our tutorials, we had fantastic feedback regarding those. If you have not taken advantage of coming in early to see those, I highly recommend them. It's basically free learning, and thank you very, very much to the people who volunteer their time to come in and teach us all something new. So thanks. Your NANOG program committee, I'm the chair, Dave Temkin, Vice Chair Greg Dendy is manning the laptops in the back, put together over 18 hours of content for this meeting. We went through probably closer to 40 or 50 hours worth of content to whittle it down into basically finely grained stuff that we thought that this crowd would find interesting. And so we definitely hope that you will, and we hope that you'll tell us whether or not you find the content that we're providing you interesting and what we can do to improve in the future for you. The Aaron Help Desk is available outside, just FYI. I think I saw Mr. Huberman out there earlier, but they're here to assist you with your IP registration needs. One thing that everyone may notice is that there are sheets attached to the microphones. And what we're going to be doing is, we're not changing in any way the way that anyone should interact with our speakers, but we just ask that you keep these simple tenets in mind. Always state your name and affiliation. We encourage full and free discussion, but just maintain respect for the speakers that are up here. They're giving you their time basically for free. We ask that you wait until you're recognized by whomever is moderating the session and be as brief as you can because, as you know, time is limited. You can find open seating just outside of this room, basically directly behind and over to the left. We ask that, if you need to have any discussions or cell phone calls, that you take it out over there. And finally, just a reminder about surveys. As I mentioned before, we want you to tell us how you think we can do better. And those who did attend tutorials yesterday, please fill out your surveys as soon as possible. There's some great prizes that'll be awarded randomly to people who fill those out. And with that, I'd like to introduce our Executive Director, Betty Burke.
Thanks, everyone. Quiet this morning. Glad to see everyone here, though. I just wanted to take a few moments to thank everyone that, in addition to the program committee, that makes NANOG what it is. We have over 505 attendees. This was like on Saturday when I put the slide together, so I'm sure if you went to the attendee page, we're increasing our numbers even over what's being reported today. Again, a special thank you to the program committee. They do a great deal of thought, or put in a great deal of thought and review process into putting these programs together 3 times a year, and they're a huge part of NANOG, and we really appreciate it. The Development Committee and the Communications Committee are also unsung heroes, and it takes all of them with the board to make this activity happen for all of you. The meeting itself is wonderful. You're all here, but in large part your registration fee does not cover the cost of operating NANOG, and thank you to the wonderful sponsors that we have. It has made the job of continuing to provide a relevant experience to 500 and some attendees here possible. The host, TATA Communications, so thank you for being willing over 18 months ago to come forward and trust in us and put together this venue and be a partner with us. It was great to have you on board, and again, thank you for the social. Our diamond sponsors, as we've indicated in the past, they provide annual funding. So instead of just the meeting-to-meeting sponsorship, they provide an annual infusion of dollars to help support the organization. Our gold sponsors are Google and Netflix. They are also part of our annual. Our connectivity partner. All of you have very high demands and expectations for your network experience while here at NANOG, and Telus Communications has been also great in coming forward and working with our technical teams to put together a fantastic network. So kudos to you as well, Telus. Thank you. We have some contributors that I want to call out in these opening remarks. Generally, we don't give them as much recognition, but they are certainly in the background contributing services and helping us along the way. With that, as always, we listen to what you all share with us at our member meeting, and what we are doing, and I'll send out a reminder to attendees, is putting together an announcement on the bulletin board out by registration. We'll secure a room on your behalf, and I'll note the room and time location. If you are available during lunch and want to continue the NANOG Futures discussions that we began to talk about last evening actually, in our member meeting, we'll provide a room and some lunch for you if you want to join us and continue the discussion about some of the new programs we talked about, elections coming up, and just overall continue our discussions. So we'll make that possible for you. If you have any questions at all while you're here, find a board member. We have, as you've heard many times, these little badges with the red ribbons, and/or stop by registration, and the staff will be sure to help you and get any of your questions answered. I want to now introduce Annie Pronovost from TATA Communications, and again, it's been great to have you all here, and we look forward to you having a great 3-day experience. Annie?
Perfect. Something is supposed to happen now.
In a single second of Formula One, we will connect millions across the planet. In a single race, our technology will host up to 7 million visits to Formula1.com. In a single season, our network will connect 20 races worldwide. With millions of seconds in every season, there is a company trusted to deliver in every one. We are TATA Communications. If we can do it for Formula One, we can do it for anyone.
Hi everyone. Welcome to NANOG 55 in beautiful Vancouver. Whoops. This was not supposed to appear right away. Thank you. Believe it or not, this video you just saw has its roots here at NANOG back in 2007. Indeed, this is where the love story between Bit Gravity and TATA Communication all started. Moreover, it is all of you present here today who make it possible for millions of end users to experience such events on their PC, tablets, mobile devices, and televisions, wherever they happen to be. It is a collaboration, exchange of case study, and communication among all that makes it reaching new heights. How will the revolution of mobile broadband and Internet of Things impact our interconnect mechanism? What is the next inter-provider innovation to evolve further? I'd like to hear your views on that in the next few days. I'm sure you will agree that Vancouver is a great place to hold a conference, and maybe some parties. This city, over and above all these considerations, is also bringing us back to the root of global connectivity. Eve Pop will tell you more about that Yves Pape is our resident historian at TATA Communication and IPv6 evangelist. Yves?
Thank you, Andy. So being in Vancouver, I thought it would be appropriate to talk about our most recent and newest network, which we just activated quite recently. It's called the All Red Line. Why is it all red? It's because all maps from early in the 20th century, British territories used to be red. And it was obligatory that all cables should start and terminate on British territory. Very important. So this being said, that famous network started across the Atlantic in 1866. Then there was a connection made to India in 1870 and was prolonged to Australia in the mid-70s, 1870s that is. And the missing piece at one point in time was from the Canadian Dominion to Australia, and that's where a committee was set up in 1896, and after a lot of discussion it was decided that the cable would start in Banfield. I'm sure you all know where Banfield is located. It's on Vancouver Island, and used to be a cable station which eventually became Teleglobe later on in history. So basically cables were not long enough to go in one stretch to all the way to Fiji and Australia. So they had to stop in a little atoll which is called the Fanning Islands. And it's located in the Gilbert Islands, now part of Kiribati. If you go there one day, you'll find it, maybe. So anyway, in order to build that cable, Britain had first to annex that island, so it became British and the cable was built. So that was 1902, and of course Queen Victoria sent the first telegraph message over that cable. It had a tremendous capacity of about 50 bits per second. And by the way, the network operating center was in the Queen's Castle. And the cable, by the way, here was active till 1926. If some of you like scuba diving, if you go to Banfield and you dive, you still can find some pieces of that 1902 cable. Then in 1953 it was moved to Port Alberni, and 1959 the old station was closed, and of course from Port Alberni you had the new ANSCAN cable, which lasted till 2002. Then the cable station was sold to University of Victoria, and there's still a cable leaving from Port Alberni and coming back. The cable is a loop which is on the Juan de Fuca tectonic plate with all kinds of sensors and measuring equipment at the bottom, and you can even watch them online on the internet. So this is a long way. And of course, if we look forward a century later, 2012, there's a new global around the world network. And why is that? It's because there are cable breaks, and if the eastern side breaks, you can go west to around. In fact, I think Sylvie gave a presentation on the subject 5 years ago here at NANOG. And by the way, they had the same problem back in 1902, because a commission of the British Royal Army concluded that there needed to be 49 cable cuts in order to isolate Great Britain. Germany had less cables, so guess who won the cable war in 1914-18? Thank you. And of course, in modern times, we now have Matthew Wilder, who provides high-speed internet connectivity. Thanks, Matthew.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Wilder from Telus, and we are pleased to be providing network connectivity for you all today. I'm actually located in Vancouver myself. I'm just hoping my slide comes up here. Bear with me one sec. So while I'm waiting, I'll just talk through a little bit about Telus. Telus is actually based out of Vancouver, and we do wireline and wireless communications, about 50-50. Thank you, guys. So 50-50 of our business is wireless, half is wireline. On the wireline side, we do the expected stuff of a phone, so telephony, internet, and IPTV. On the wireless side, we have CDMA and IDEN as our legacy networks, and we did an HSPA deployment 3 years ago, and LTE launched this February. So Vancouver is also home, of course, to Vancouver 2010 Olympics. I think Vancouver 2010 set the stage for a lot of conferences wanting to come to Vancouver. Raise your hand if this is your first time to Vancouver. Okay, that's great to see so many. Now raise your hand if you were here for the ARIN conference a couple months ago. Great. And raise your hand if you'll be here for IETF in July. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of network events converging on Vancouver this year, which is great to see. Hopefully the weather looks a little better in July than it's looking today. And I hope you enjoy the city. Just mention a few sports teams we have here in case you're interested. Vancouver Whitecaps Football Club, so that's soccer. BC Lions is our football team. And Vancouver Canucks is our hockey team. And so I was going to say you folks are very brave to be here in June during playoff season. Of course, everyone remembers last year, a bit of excitement last June in Vancouver over the loss against Boston. But of course, we're out this year. We lost to a very strong LA team, which looks poised to take the Stanley Cup. So a little about Telus and our network. As you can see, we do have national presence. And the green cloud there is our wireless coverage. And the purple lines are our backbone, as well as some of the connections into our peering points in the US. In case you didn't look at Google Maps before flying here, this is where you are. This is the West Coast. And actually, this will come into play on Tuesday. So World IPv6 launch occurs at midnight GMT, June 6th. That happens to fall at 5 p.m. tomorrow here. So make sure you look at your clocks tomorrow at 5 o'clock. What's that? Okay, well, hopefully the clocks keep ticking. So our network that we're providing here is a Gig E access, and it is dual stack. So we're using NANOG's IP address space, of course, and we are definitely looking forward to seeing the V6 traffic on World IPv6 launch. So June 6th should be a very exciting day for us all. And I do want to mention as well, we have the sponsorship of a social event. It's at the Telus World of Science on Tuesday night. So right after we do V6 launch, you can come join us at the World of Science and take in some scientific stuff as well as a nice view of Vancouver from a different angle. And check NANOG 55 page for details. So on behalf of Telus, welcome to Vancouver. Enjoy NANOG 55 and enjoy the network. Thank you.
Are we